Hello, welcome to the Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus and I'm so glad you're here today. As you can hear in my voice, I'm not feeling very well, bad throat. So, this is going to be a quick one. So, this lady recently said to me, "It's a good thing I spoke to you. I wasn't going to charge anywhere near that." She was about to start offering personal workshops in a very specialized healthy vegan baking, whole food plant based vegan baking. Her plan was to travel all the way to the student's house, carry all the premium ingredients herself because whole food plant based requires lots of nuts and dates and things like that, dry fruits and stuff. And she wanted to teach a personalized class to the student for several hours. And she was about to undervalue herself so much. I wanted to reach my hands through the phone, grip her shoulders, and say, "You are worth so much more. Come on." How much should I charge for? Now, this is a common question people ask me, specifically my vegan business coaching clients, but others too. How much should I charge for? Dot, dot, dot. And whether it's for products, services, workshops, art, the number they have in mind is almost always sure to be lower than it needs to be. Women in particular are hesitant to ask for what they deserve, all thanks to patriarchy. So, to all conscious, purpose driven small business owners, teachers, creators, artists, look, just because you deeply care about the work you do and you want the whole world to embrace the cause you're so passionate about doesn't mean you need to lowball your prices, okay? In a world overrun with heartless, mindless, zero principled businesses and corporations, you're trying to make a positive difference with your work, with your creativity, with your products, services, and everything. You create meaning in this world. You are helping to transform lives. So, of course, you're worth more. So, when you're trying to figure out your pricing, of course, there are many things to consider. But here are three questions you need to ask yourself. You're probably ignoring these, you're probably overlooking them. So, one, are you a specialist? This means you serve people who are mainly dismissed by the mainstream market. You're either teaching or creating or whatever, right? Like your product, service, all of it. That is special. That is not a commonly available thing. So, for example, in the example of this lady, vegan, whole food, plant based, gluten free baking. That's what she was teaching. It's rare to find teachers who will actually teach you this. So then, that makes you special, that makes you different. Your unique skill, knowledge, experience, they all carry an extra value all on their own. You need to charge extra just for that. Because you went through a lot of learning, a lot of experimentation, a lot of work to get to where you are, to have the knowledge that you do have. So, if you are a specialist, then being that specialist carries an extra charge that you need to consider. Two, when you calculate costs, ingredients, materials, fuel, rent, etc., are you taking into account the most valuable resource of all? Time. A lot of us, we think that, okay, we enjoy spending time on our business. So, it's belly work, it's so much fun, or it's something I'm passionate about, so I love doing this. So when you think of all this, It's we all have this tendency to feel like our time is not worth much, or we don't even think about it. Now, just because you enjoy spending time in your business doesn't mean your time's worth any less. So, take into account how much time you're spending. This includes travel time, preparation time, shopping for materials or ingredients time, all of it, all the time matters. So, take the time into account when you're calculating your charges. 3. How much effort are you personally putting in? Like things that just cannot be delegated, so you have to do them yourself. I'm not talking about the ones where you can delegate, but you're like, oh, I'll do it myself. No. Now, that's not a very wise thing to do. If you can delegate something, delegate it. Don't look for perfectionism. One of my earliest episodes, episode number 9 on this podcast, is called The Magic of Delegation. Go and listen to it. It was one of the earliest lessons I learned in my own business journey, the power of delegating and moving on. So no, I'm not talking about those things where you are unnecessarily just doing work because you don't want to delegate, or you haven't learned how to delegate properly. I'm not talking about that. But there are things that cannot be delegated, that you have to do. You're the expert in this, or you have the knowledge, or your touch is needed, your personal involvement is needed. There you have to consider, how much effort are you personally putting in, and then again, that also adds to your charges, your price. It counts for a lot because you're being personally involved in what you're doing. Again, you have to remember, just because putting in the effort makes you happy, brings you joy, doesn't mean you should ignore it while calculating your prices. So, to recap the 3 things: one is, are you a specialist? You have unique abilities and skills. 2 is, are you considering your time, every bit of time that you spend? And then, are you considering your personal effort? Personally what you're doing, the work, which cannot be delegated. These 3 things are often overlooked when we're calculating our prices. We go for the very basic, obvious things, but we forget about this. So, the next time you wonder how much to charge for your product, your service, your workshop, your art, whatever you're offering, right? Next time you wonder how much to charge, keep these things also in mind, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be like that lady. I was telling her a price that is probably like 3 to 4 times more than what she was considering. That is how much she was undervaluing herself. All right, if you like this episode of the Feel Good Factor, then you will love my free newsletter, The Feel Good Tribe. I send out emails a couple of times a month. They're a lot of fun, they have a lot of stories, and I do share tips and takeaways in them. Go to veganosaurus.com/newsletter and sign up. The link is in the show notes. All right, I look forward to talking to you again next week, and hopefully my voice is much better by then. Bye. Take care.